Okay, so I got this D2 RS coilover kit for a Porsche 996. This one over here. Um, but anyway, I figured I'd do a little review on it as I was putting it on. It's not really a tutorial, but it would also, maybe I'll show you how the suspension seems to come apart and go together. I couldn't find a single video on this, so anyway, these are just the rears, and you can see they're not bad looking. I think they're pretty decent for the money. I know it seems like they're not real popular with all the Porsche guys, but I come from the import world and they seem okay. They seem okay with the import world. You see where I'm from. But anyway, so this is a front one. These are the ones that came off the car. And I'll just show you how easy it was to get these struts out. I was kind of surprised. I literally took the strut tower bolts loose here, and then took the brake caliper off. Let me connect a light here. Okay, so this here, I'm not used to this. This is a Porsche thing, but the struts literally slide inside this, kind of like a triple tree on a motorcycle. So it's relatively straightforward to take apart. There's this bolt here goes through here and clamps the whole unit in there. There's nothing else. It's not like your standard McPherson strut has two bolts that come through this area here. And this literally, one bolt comes out of here, and then I guess it becomes gritty and that kind of stuff, but you can clean this off and it will slide out. The interesting thing is, after I took the bolts loose of the strut tower, took this brake caliper off right here, found a way to wire it up there, disconnected this just so that the line was loose. So I got one bolt hole here and the knuckle where that attached. But then this thing here, literally, if I move this piece of wood out of the way here, you can see the whole thing comes out. And believe it or not, with the bolts out of the strut tower, you can take this whole assembly here and literally push it down, and then bring it out past the lip of the fender. Oops, just nice. Anyway, bring it out past the lip of the fender, and once you do, you can see, if you stand here, you can see that there's clearly enough room here outside the car that you can just bring the whole strut. It just comes right up out of this hole on the outside of the car. So you just compress the suspension down once you've made enough room by disconnecting the little grommets and stuff. You can just push the whole assembly down to make it so you can clear this lip here. Once you do, I took this nylon hammer here and tapped this a little bit as I had my friend pull the strut out of the hole, and that was it. It came right out. So now I'm going to put this this D2 coilover in, and we shall, I guess we'll see what they're like. Okay, one thing to keep in mind when putting these struts on, you got to slide this on. It's just to hold the I put one side on, and now I've realized that that I'm missing the bracket that holds the I think it's the analog brake wiring. But anyway, okay. So sorry to keep cutting this off and cutting it back on. I've got the strut in my hand. I'm just going to slide this in here and kind of show you how this works. See if I can without scratching the car. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to or not. So you can see it just clears the fender there. Slide it down inside the hole. You can see with the bracket on there, goes all the way down. I've got that much clearance at the top. But I'm literally just gonna, I can't do it while holding this camera, but I'm gonna push this down. You can see the suspension move, and then I'm gonna tuck it up under there. So you can see it's not that hard to create enough room, but anyway, so I'm gonna do that. Okay, so I pushed it down down in here, got it up right here, and you can see that not quite in there, but all I'm gonna do is just slide it upwards. You know, this thing here slides around once it's clean. And I'm going to see if I can get it up through here. Anyway, see, I haven't got it lined right. Just verify. Yeah. Okay. Like that, and now I'm going to tighten that down. All right, so I've got the caliper back on. You can see there's only 2 radial bolts here. Got this tightened back down. I've got this gap here measured. They're identical. It's the only way I can think to do it. I couldn't really find any instructions. So they don't give you a lot of help in that area. But anyway, guess I'm going to put the wheels on. And, oh, they do give you a rubber grommet. See this right here? Give you a new rubber grommet, which is nice because mine were actually tore up. You can see this one's a little bit, it's coming apart a little bit. It's not exactly a tight fit, but I don't think it's going anywhere, and it certainly will protect the wires. So, you know, I'm going to put the wheels on. I'm a little bit worried about this space here, but again, it's about where it was. The distance from here to the top is the same as it was from the factory. If this spring rate is a lot stiffer, then when I put it on the ground, the car will be higher. So I'm gonna have to play with that a little bit. Not really sure. All right, well, that's kind of the fronts. Okay, so I'm around the other side now. I did put it on the ground, and it's way too high. So I'm thinking that this piece here. Actually, I'm thinking it was like maybe 1.5 inches high. So I'm thinking that this is actually a stop with this bracket for this cable. I think it needs to be all the way up here, and then the whole knuckle assembly needs to compress and bottom out against this. I'm thinking that's how they meant it to be set up because it's just really high. The other thing I've come across, I don't know whether you can see this back here. This is the bracket for the line. See how long it is? It's really long compared to the factory one, and I'm worried about it touching this hose right here, because when you turn the steering wheel, obviously this whole knuckle assembly turns, and so this is gonna go like this on the inside with the car on the ground. Of course, it will actually be up here somewhere with the car on the ground, but you come around this side, I've got this brake line here. I'm also worried about if it turns and gets in the way of that. I'm actually going to take that off, and I'm going to shorten it. See the length of it there? The length of the bracket that the electrical cable goes in. If you look at that compared to the stock strut, which is right here, you can see that's a lot shorter. Anyway, I'm going to cut it down and reattach it. All right, so I shortened my bracket. Yeah. You see it? Right there. Shorten my bracket, and now it doesn't look like it's going to get in the way so much. It's more like the more like stock one. I only cut about that much out of it, so 10 millimeters. Anyway, and I also what I did is I jacked up the lower control arm here, took the nut loose, jacked up the control arm, and took the space out of this right here, and then tightened it down. And I've got enough thread here. You see the adjustable area goes a long way up, so it should be enough adjustment there. Anyway, I'm going to try it. All right, so I have now adjusted it. You can also see I've separated this and put a little white lithium in it. I don't drive this car in the rain or anything, so I suspect it'll stay in there pretty well until I get caught one day on the road. But I've adjusted the height, and I did it by jacking up the control arms on both sides. And I don't know, I think I'm kind of close. Anyway, I think that's it for the front. Seems like in the position it's in right now, it's probably, I don't know, maybe a half-inch lower than it was with the H&R springs on it. So I'm going to put the front back together and then go do some work on the back and then try the car. So we'll see.